This is episode 31, Energy in Motion and the Battle of Beliefs. Welcome to Alive by Design. My name is Blake Mallon, and we're here to bring you inspiring people, principles, and practices to help you wake up, move toward your meant to, and feel fully alive. Open your mind and let's dive in. Hey guys, before you listen to the podcast, I just want to drop in and say I appreciate you for being here, and I'm super excited about this new Walk With Me series. These are solo episodes where I take some time in the middle of my morning run through the Santa Monica Mountains to share some inspired ideas and thoughts on my mind and heart. If you want to join me for any of these conversations live, you can catch me many mornings on my Facebook page, facebook.com/BlakeMallon.page. Would love to see you there. Love you guys. Enjoy the episode. Walk with me for a few minutes. Wow, is there a lot of emotion in the air right now? Emotion, energy in motion. And I mean like a full spectrum of emotion. I know you're all hearing it, you're all seeing it, you're all feeling it. You can't be alive right now and not. Emotion from anger, hatred, sadness, compassion, empathy, love. We're getting a little bit, we're getting a lot of bit of everything right now. And obviously it makes sense. I mean, look at what we're all in the middle of this year, representing all of the challenges that the pandemic and COVID brought us. And I'm talking about the challenges beyond just the virus. I'm talking about the dynamics around it, the fear in the air, the anxiety, concern, in some cases, even depression, mixed with depriving of social connection and our need to be around each other and our need for community, with a restriction of escape, our usual outlets of activity, and maybe our own way of coping or growing or escaping have been limited. And then you combine all of that, months of all of that, right into now the current world conversation around Black Lives Matter and the movement for change and the awareness people are creating in so many different ways, from taking to the streets to taking to the posts on social media and everywhere in between. It's a lot of emotion. And it almost feels like a battle right now. How many of you guys feel like in some of the conversations you're having, and it can be on any of the topics, it's like we're in a battle? And I think we are. I feel like we are. Matter of fact, I see a very clear battle happening right now. For sure in the United States, but I think you're probably seeing it around the world. You guys tell me. But I'm not talking about a battle of politics. I'm not talking about a battle between, black and white, or a battle between this law or that law, or this party or that party, or this person or that person. I think the battle that's happening right now, down at the level of every one of our lives every day, is a battle of belief. A battle of belief. And we're all engaged and maybe not even aware. And I want to talk about that battle that we're all consciously or unconsciously in right now. Before we dive into some thoughts and how we can kind of deconstruct what I mean to create change in ourselves and change in our environment. That's the outcome of this conversation. I want to know who's out there. I'm not walking by myself. Yes, I'm going up the hill right now. You can tell I get breathing heavy because it gets steep in this hill. Santa Monica Mountains, beautiful day. Who's walking with me? Who's out there? I don't know if you're there unless you say hello. Don't hide behind the screen. I want to know you're there. I want to say hello back. Hey y'all, how we doing? How we feeling? What's new in your world? Tell me something. Give me an update. I care. I want to know who's walking with me. I enjoy our time together. I appreciate you plugging in. And I love our conversation. Some of you guys have been giving some amazing input on these conversations in the comment thread. I read every one of them. I try to reply to most of them. They give value to me. If you take the time to share your perspective, they give value to everybody watching and reading the comments. So say hello, where you're from, how you're feeling. And in today's conversation, feel free to come out from behind the screen and participate. Share a perspective. We all get better because of that. So, battle of beliefs. Let me ask you a couple questions. What if I told you right now that your beliefs are not your own? The beliefs that sometimes we hold on to so tight, refuse to let go, stand by, sometimes so strongly and passionately. What if I said they're not your own? What if I said our beliefs, your beliefs, my beliefs, are the sum or the outcome of our environment? And mainly the environment that we had a long time ago in the first part of our lifetime. And for some of us, that might be years ago. For some of us, that might be decades ago. And what if I told you that environment, for most of us, was not one we chose? It was one given or assigned to us by the family we grew up in, the neighborhood we lived in, the teachers whose class we were put in, the people we ended up sitting next to, and by definition of proximity, the friends that we developed in the first part of our life. We didn't even choose. So by default, our beliefs, an outcome of our environment that we didn't choose, are actually ones we hold by default, not by design. And those beliefs are the battle that we're fighting with ourselves, in our own internal conversations, with each other, in our external conversations, in the world right now with the polarizing conversations. It's a battle of beliefs. Why am I talking about this right now? Because I believe the stage is set for something that could be a amazing change, a needed shift, a massive movement forward. Dare I say that the stage has been set because of COVID and the pandemic and what we went through, and because of the people stepping up and voicing their opinions on shifts need to be made when it comes to race and justice and privilege and the systems around all of that, because of what we're seeing as obstacles and issues and maybe in some cases world crisis, is actually setting the stage for what can be a massive shift, dare I say, a revolution to a better place. But in order to go from the setting of the stage and the awareness that we have right now to that revolution, there needs to be a paradigm shift, an entire paradigm shift. And by paradigm, what's a paradigm? Well, our perspective, how we see things, how we approach things. Yeah, I think that's all right. But at the end of the day, guys, a paradigm is just a collection of beliefs. The collection of our beliefs shape our paradigm. The paradigm are the lens by which we see and we act and we go through the world. And right now we're in the middle of what can be a massive paradigm shift on so many levels, in so many positive ways. But we got to understand we're not in a battle against each other. We're not in a battle against a side. We're in a battle against beliefs. So let me deconstruct real quick why I asked those questions, and I'll give 3 suggestions on how we make this paradigm shift moving forward. I said that our beliefs are not our own. I said that our beliefs are the sum or the outcome of our environment, most of which was assigned or given to us, not chosen. And that's how we're operating every single day and how we're approaching today's sensitive conversations. Here's what I mean. Quick step back. I'm going to go nerd on you for a second, but I think it's important to understand the psychology and, in a lot of cases, the neurology of exactly what I mean, because I'm not talking philosophically or metaphorically or rhetorically. I'm talking literally how a belief system works. You guys see, science says that in any moment of time, our reality, there's about 2 million bits or pieces of information all around us, things that we have the potential of sensing, that we can see, hear, taste, touch, smell. 2 million's a lot, but our biology is not constructed to process 2 million things at a time. It's impossible. We're just not built that way. The best science can tell is that our biology can only really process about 134, I don't know where they got that number, how they got that number, but that's the number they say, pieces of information at a time. So in any given point of reality, we are deleting, distorting, minimizing, reducing 2 million potential things we could be perceiving down to 134. And simple math, 134 to 2 million is not a lot, which means by definition, we are missing most things.
All right, thank you.
Which really begs the question, right? If we could only process 134 pieces of information, and that is what we perceive, that is what the mental image in our mind of what we're experiencing life, that's why we say, our reality is not the reality, our reality is just our reality. The reality is 2 million potential pieces of information. Our reality is whatever 134 we decide to grasp, which really gets down to man, what decides what 134 pieces we accept as ours. And the piece in the brain, for those of you guys that care, is called the RAS, Reticular Activating System. It's a piece in our brain that is the filter. I just call it the filter because it's the filter that decides, hey, those 2 million things, I'm going to take these 134. The rest we'll just forget about for now and don't even know they're there. And all day long, it does that automatically, just like the spam filter in your inbox. It's like the spam filter of your life. But here's the catch. That filter gets automatically programmed to find and attract the beliefs that harmonize most with your existing belief system. So all day long, it's going to go find the references or the bits of information that support what you currently believe. The more references that you have, the stronger the belief. So imagine all day long, every thought becomes a file, and batches of similar thoughts all become large files. And the more files or references we have, the stronger the belief. Until pretty soon, those beliefs become really strong opinions that are hard to bend and hard to break. So our references in our life create this file or this belief system. But then the belief system programs our RAS, our filter, to continue to find things that match or support our existing beliefs. So it becomes a vicious cycle. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. That's why we say, seek and you shall find. Right? You will find what you are looking for. So let's back up real quick. If we understand a little bit of how this works, references in life, 2,134,134, our filter finds and tries to support things we already know, files similar references, the stronger the references, the stronger the belief, and so flips our own filter to continue to seek and validate our existing opinion. Well, here's what I mean. Our beliefs are not our own. The beliefs that sometimes we hold so strongly to, they're not even yours. It's not like their original thought. It's not like all of a sudden, boom, you got an epiphany. It's not like that was innately, right, inception put into your mind. Those beliefs that you are clinging to, that we are clinging to, are just because of the references that we happen to have collected in our life, most of which in our first 18 years that we didn't even control. And to take it a step further, we've spent most of our life continuing to validate and reinforce and select certain references, selective perception, selective listening, selective watching, removing the things that go against what we believe and only accepting the things that support it to continue to build this belief system. So guys, understanding that system, that process, and this isn't philosophically, again, this is how this works scientifically, allows you to step back and realize, wow, the beliefs that I'm operating in aren't even my own. I didn't put them there. They are a sum of what was around me. What was around me wasn't even my choice in most of my life. Therefore, the belief system I live by is, by definition, an outcome, right, of default, just where I happen to be placed and who I happen to be around, not by design. And I think understanding that process allows us to step back a little bit and realize what's happening right now in a clash of beliefs, which is really just a clash of different people and different experiences continuing to hold on to what once was instead of being open to what can be. So what does this mean? Why am I sharing this? Guys, understanding that fundamental process can help with so many things on so many different levels, but it can help insanely right now. Because the first thing, I'll give you 3 thoughts with where we're at and what to do with this information with the current world conversation. Number 1 is to realize that our beliefs are just an outcome of our past experience. They're not our own. They're not right or wrong. How often of us have had beliefs that we stood by so solid and then later in life we realize, man, we were totally wrong. And if we've had belief in the past that we realize we're totally wrong, don't you think we have beliefs right now that in the future we're going to realize are totally wrong? So why don't we just accept right now that beliefs are neither right or wrong? It's not about good or bad, right? It's about understanding they're a collection of references. And as soon as we realize that, we can let go of the ownership we have over what we once thought, because it ain't even ours. It was put there by somebody else. So the first step is an awareness of how this works so we can let go. We can stop clinging on. We can stop taking physiological ownership over this is our paradigm. It's not even yours. And once we have that awareness, we can start to not have it by default, but have it by design. Which means step 2, we can be more intentional with our input right now. So if our belief system is just a sum or an outcome of our references, instead of trying to change a belief, why don't we first focus on changing our references? You guys, this is why I'm so proud of what's happening right now about just seeking education, people breaking down the walls or the barriers that we've put around us, right, in our paradigm, and starting to say, you know what, I'm willing to listen. I'm willing to be open. I'm willing to hear, right? I'm willing to absorb. I'm willing to read this, hear this. I'm so proud of the people that are speaking up and sharing their voice to create more references. It goes both ways. So we have to be willing to put intention into our input. What are we willing to read? What are we willing to listen to? What are we willing to watch? How can we be open to more references so we can have a greater perspective? You guys, here's an empowering question we can all ask ourselves. What is it that I don't know that I need to know? What is it that I don't know that I need to know? I've heard it said many different ways from many smart people that the first step to intelligence is accepting that we do not know. The first step to learning, improving, getting better, and growing is to accept what we do not know. So we got to be willing to open ourselves up to more references out there. What can you do right now just to start to get more bits, get more references all around, different perspective, maybe a different voice, maybe a different channel, maybe a different view, just to go absorb different references that might help reset or level off the filter by which you are seeing the world right now. That's step 2. So number 1, believe that our beliefs are just a sum or an outcome of references that are not our own. It's okay to let go. Number 2, put intention into our input so we can start to educate ourselves, balance our references, maybe reshape our paradigm. And number 3, understand that this same approach works when we're working with other people. So when we're dealing with other people, don't be so quick to attack their belief. Don't be so quick to break down their paradigm. Understand that, hey, that perspective is just a collection because of their past, their experience, and their references. The same is true for them as is true for us. So the best thing we can do is not attack a belief system head on. The best thing we can do is to build more references, build more intentional input. Come from a place of empathy. I understand how you got there, and to a lot of it isn't even a fault of your own. It's by default of how you've come up. But let me help by giving you more references, an alternative education, more information, more conversation. Start with that level. And maybe the more references that we create, we can balance out the experience we all have. And if we all have the same amount of references and same amount of experience and a balance of where that's coming from, maybe we all can collectively shift our own paradigm, our own perspective to a more holistic place. So guys, those are my thoughts on what's going on right now. I think we're in an amazing place. I don't want to minimize or be unsympathetic to the challenges that we have gone through and are going through and are in the middle of right now. But I am optimistic. I am excited that the stage is set right now for a massive shift. The awareness is there. The references are being created. And I think an important next step is for us just to understand what's happening. It's not a battle of politics. It's not a battle of black and white. It's not a battle of right or wrong right now. It's a battle of beliefs. And we need to deconstruct how we got here by understanding that our beliefs are not our own. We need to be intentional with the input that we put into ourselves and start to educate, start to be open, start to receive so that way we can shift. And then we need to bring that understanding to other people and not attack the person and not even attack the belief. It's not going to work. It's just going to create a battle. But come from a place of empathy, of compassion, sharing experience, sharing references so that people can collect their own to create their own shift. So I hope that helps all of you guys this morning. Some thoughts as we walk together. As always, would love your perspective. I'll read every comment. Agree, disagree, alternative views. It makes us all better. I appreciate our time together. Thank you guys who joined me for the walk. If you got value from this, feel free to share. That's the biggest validation you can give me that the message is resonating and hitting. Until next time we walk together, everybody have a great day. Stay safe, stay sane, stay healthy, and let's use the world stage that has been set right now to create a change that is needed. And it starts one person at a time, and it starts with that one person being us. Have a great day, everybody.
Hey guys, one last thing. I'm super excited that this new podcast, Alive by Design, just went live. You see, I designed the show to bring you inspired thoughts and fascinating conversations with the world's most impactful people, to provide transformative principles and practices to help you wake up, move toward your meant to, and feel fully alive. And I'd love for you to help me spread the word now. Simply subscribe, rate, and review the podcast on this platform right now. So if I've ever given you value, please do me this personal favor and go subscribe now. And if you found today's episode helpful in any way, make sure you share this with at least one friend today. You have the power right now to change someone's day. So send them a text message with a link to alivebydesign.com. Or simply copy and paste the link right from this podcast platform. Who's one person you know right now that you want to see succeed, that you want to see grow, that you want to see feel more alive? Shoot them a text with your largest takeaway from today and be a light in their day. And if you were referred here by a friend, make sure you shoot them a text back and say thank you. I'd love to hear from you directly on what you got from today's podcast. So if you're up for it, drop by my Instagram at Blake Mallon and shoot me a DM. And as always, thank you for showing up. I'm grateful for you, and I hope our time together today in some small way helped you feel a little more alive. Until next time.